Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's your boy GrandmastaJ, and yes, it is dark in this room because, the light was kind of bothering my head a little bit. Not important. What is important is that you hear the jazz, you know what time it is. It is time for some replay reviews. Just to shout out again, once again, if you're interested in coaching yourself, please consider checking out the video in the description below. But for everybody else, let's dive into it. Today, we have a Testament versus an Anji. Okay, we're going to be coaching the Testament player. Now, this is on the Celestial floor, and this Testament player, although good, clearly knows what they're doing, is a good example as to why discipline and why not just pressing buttons for the sake of pressing buttons is very important for winning. Now, let's get into it. Bam! Okay, you know what your boy's looking for. All right, I'm a round start goblin. What kind of round starts we're looking at? Backdash. Now, backdash is actually pretty good against Anji, specifically because Anji, his round start options are very good, specifically because he has Fujin, all right, or specifically the parry, right? Now, Anji's parry, especially round start, opens up a lot of options for Anji, right? You really don't want to swing on him, and because you don't really want to swing on him, it kind of gives him free reign to swing on you. However, you do have to swing on him sometimes. You have to make that call every now and again, right? And we're gonna see later how this kind of bites the Testament player in the back later on, okay? But right now, backdashes a lot, throws a fireball, does 3 backdashes in a row to get a fireball out, okay? Now that's an interesting choice, but whatever. Gets the fireball. Now immediately teleports out of the way. This is fine. This is good for retreating, and backdashes again. Now here's the thing, right? In fighting games, you don't really want to have a lot of unnecessary movement, all right? I understand that Testament's backdash is really, really good. Honestly, that's why I'm not really going to dunk on this too much, but you really don't want a lot of unnecessary movement. Testament player could have honestly, in this situation, first of all, backdash 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, fireball, backdash, boom. Didn't need to backdash here, right? Definitely could have just went for a fireball, right? Ends up doing like, I guess, a hard read on the jump, on the Anji jump, not sure. Gets a confirm from it, fantastic, does that, gets the mix up, boom, gets the mix up, boom. Okay, if you're ever caught in this situation, backdash it, like you can react to the Arbiter and then backdash it so you don't have to guess whether or not it's high or low Arbiter, whatever, gets hit, right, blocks it, and then goes for the up one. Now, this is very good because it covers a whole lot of space, right? The Anji clearly decided to run straight for them, right? And the up Arbiter kind of like covers that big, like it covers a huge amount of ground, right? And even if they jumped, it still would have covered, right? And it's plus on block, so this is pretty good. Backdashes. Now, here's what I don't like. You're actually plus on block in this situation here, right? Okay, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Blocks. You're actually plus on block in this situation here, right? Now, I understand Anji's what is it, spin? It's not Fujin, but it's spin. The Anji's parry is a big factor in whether or not you want to take action on him. Actually, in this situation, Anji definitely could have parried for sure, right? But Anji also very well could have done Fujin into Ko. Doesn't do it in a Ko. Well, it does do it in a Ko, but does it way too slow. If Anji let it rip really quickly, then the Testament player probably would have gotten hit and probably would have taken a lot of damage, right? Because Anji just does a lot of damage in this patch. Not sure why, right? Whatever. I digress. But they back up. They back up 3 times, and now the Anji player backs up as well. Throws a fireball, throws Crow, right? And kind of like autopilot. So the neutral's interesting, okay? The neutral is interesting for sure. Back up, back up, back up. Throw fireball. Right? Throw Crow. Okay. Does not anti-air. All right. Now that's interesting. Does not anti-air. You would think they're doing like jump back into teleport, but they don't really do that either. Instant air dash is over, right? But it's not necessarily paying attention as to where the Anji is as well. The Anji does an anti-air. Does 5K. The 5K does not cross up. I believe it's 5K or 5. No, that's 5K. 5K does not cross up. And then mashes their fastest button. Now, this is very sloppy neutral, okay? You're not really... I'm noticing that the Testament player is not exactly paying attention to where the Anji is. They're mostly concerned with, am I close to the Anji? Yes. Retreat. And then throw fireball. Am I far from the Anji? Yes. Okay. Run my pressure, throw fireballs, throw arbiters, or throw, the overheads and lows, whatever. Did I get Crow out and they're close? Yes. Jump. All right. I'm not seeing a whole lot of 6Ps, and which is interesting because Testament has one of the best 6Ps in the game, if not the best 6P in the game. So very strange. Okay. It works out, gets a knockdown into Arbiter. Good. Goes in the overhead one. Fine. Goes in the low one. The Anji is not really concerned about it. So there is clearly an autopilot here because as soon as the Anji blocks it, they go for the up Arbiter again. And it works out. Okay. It works out. But this is an autopiloted or yeah, this is like a flowcharty game plan, which is fine if you use it in the context of being able to actually adapt to your opponent's adaptations. What do I mean by that? Well, we're going to quickly see what I mean by that in these following rounds. Next, round start. Backdashes again, okay? Does the exact same round start as last time. This time gets hit, okay? What I love to do against Anji sometimes is I love to just dash forward and block, right? I love to dash forward block against Anji because if he presses a button, I get to block the button. They run up on me, I could potentially throw them, or at least like break them, or whatever the heck the case is, right? And if they spin, I get to throw them for free as well, right? But you have to mix it up. You don't really want to do the same option twice in a row. Sometimes you do, but most of the time you don't, especially if you have already shown to have a pattern of retreating. It is clear that this Testament player does not want to be anywhere next to the Anji player, which is, you know, I mean, fine, I get it. Like, I understand that. Now, Anji's a scary guy, okay? Anji's a scary fella, but you don't want to make your neutral option so obvious because now the Anji player is just going to overcommit, knowing, yeah, this player is just going to backdash 4 or 5 times, right, and try to throw a fireball at me. I'm just going to run in their face and press far slash, which is exactly what's happening here. Presses far slash, gets a knockdown, okay, early burst, all right, throws fireball. Now the Anji player is just holding forward, and this is interesting, and I almost agree with the Anji player, right? The Anji player is holding forward because you as a Testament player has not shown to kind of know what to do when the Anji player gets close to you, right? However, the Anji player makes a couple mistakes, gets knocked down. Now you autopilot the 5K. Oh my gosh, my cat is... Hold on now. What is going on? Baby, what are you doing? She just jumped on my chair, and then she like kind of missed and then kind of like clawed my back. Either way, anyway, okay. Well, we have little guest star, little Gueki Poo. Okay, so you press 5K and then the 5K does not connect and then you autopilot into the 6H. The 6H gets parried, right? Now, here's the thing. 6H is never a good button. I wouldn't say never, right? Most of the time, it's just not a good button to use. That's just kind of how it is, right? It's pretty darn slow, all right? Against a character like Anji, you don't really want to throw out slow buttons, especially ones that can very easily get parried like this one, right? And also, like, did you just do it because you were trying to make a read, or were you autopiloting 5K into 6H? That's the real question, because if it is the latter, that's an issue. You get punished, boom, get knocked down, all right? Now, you're mashing, okay? You're mashing, you get counter hit here after blocking the Fujin, which is interesting because both options kind of blow you up, right? Now, the Anji choke goes for charge dust, and so we kind of find out what you were mashing, which is probably 2K into sweep, into knockdown. But mashing on defense, especially against Anji with meter, is very dangerous. It's very scary, right? Really don't want to mash this for the sake of mashing, especially like if you've already done it once, right? Now it kind of works out in this case, but as we'll see later, it kind of doesn't work out long run. It doesn't work out long term, right? And that's kind of the moral of the story, is that if you want to be a consistent player, you cannot autopilot your game plan all the time, right? So anyway, gets knocked down, gets hit. The Anji player is clearly free to this move, right? Now, in terms of autopiloty stuff, okay, this is what I'm talking about in terms of the flow chart. In terms of whatever flow chart they got going on, they left to go for the up version of this fireball, right? Now, the up version of the fireball is great at contesting approaches, but the Anji player is not approaching. The Anji player is freaking... The Anji player's over here, man. What the fudge are you... What are you trying to, like, stop? Like, this is the part that I don't understand, right? You then realize, oh, they're far away. I could throw this fireball, right? Which, yeah, sure, but now they're pretty darn close, and so Anji is now capable of spinning right in those DMs, and guess what he's going to do? He's going to try to spin in the DMs, right? You go for the teleport into far slash, not bad, okay? Into 2H, And it only really works because the Anji is running at you, and then you try to get a combo, you messed up the combo, right? You really gotta to get that bit tighter, but I feel like you were probably too far to be able to get that as a true combo, right? Let's see. I don't think so. Yeah, probably too far to get that as a combo, right? Jump S for some reason, not sure what the heck that is. Backdash, this is fine defensively. Managed to block the overhead, but you're going for YRC anyway, so did you really block, or were you just holding up, going for the YRC, right? The Anji blocks you, right? Gets a throw, mixes you with another throw. Now you're knocked down, right? And you go for another 2K. Now that could have been catastrophic. That really could have been catastrophic. You had the Anji player going for like a far slash or for meaty Fujin, for example, right? And that's why autopiloting your defense is important to not do, right? It works out in this situation, but you go into sweep, right? Like you're autopiloting 2K into sweep, but now like just throwing out sweep in neutral is very, very strange. Honestly, I would almost agree with saying do like 2 more backdashes or whatever, like what you've already been doing, right? You start blocking the Fujin. Okay, nice defense, and then you get counter hit. Why are you getting counter hit from something that is this far away? Okay, contextually speaking, you know that Anji is going to press a button, right? Contextually speaking, you know this to be true, right? So why are you going to press a button? Anji's clearly going to do 2K sweep into Fujin, and pressing a button, there's a gap there. You get hit, then you die for it. So it's like, it's almost as if you're on a timer, right? You're on a timer of like, okay, ding, ding, mash, all right? Ding, ding, mash, okay? Ding, ding, backdash, right? And having that sort of like auto-timed, like that autopiloted like actions and maneuvers makes it so that you're not actually absorbing the context of the match, right? And absorbing the context of the match is very important, especially to consistent success. All right, next round start. Backdashes again, the same exact round start. You throw in a third one. You throw in a third one. To be fair, you throw in a fourth one, even throw in a fifth one, which is crazy, right? Because now we're starting to enter the danger zones, right? Whereas Guilty Gear is a game that is very aggressive. It at least encourages aggression. Now there can be some sorts of like defensive play, but if you're backdashing, it actually counts towards like this like negative timer, which like will eventually put you in danger, which makes you start to lose meter, and then eventually puts you into negative penalty, which makes you lose all of your meter. Okay, so 5 backdashes off rip is very, very, very dangerous, especially since, like I was saying before, right? If you did dash up into do nothing, you could have been able to throw that for free. You could have been able to throw the parry for free and get started. This is why you need to vary the round starts based on the character that you're fighting. Okay, very important. Okay. Whatever, you jump over, so like you put yourself in the corner and then jump out. So not only do you put yourself in the corner, but you actually use one of the most riskiest options to try to get out of the corner, right? If the Anji was a bit better, they would have held their ground and tried to react to whatever actions that you're trying to take. Either way, you get this jump in, it works out. Autopilot 2K2D again, it misses, going to far slash into fireball, into crow. This is fine. A couple of backdashes, goes for the up fireball, but now look, you're in danger, so you're not going to get a lot of meter, okay? Not getting meter in this game is very important, especially for a character like Testament, whose offense is already like, yeah, like Testament's offense got buffed for sure, but Testament's offense is like, in order for it to kind of like be pushed over the edge of actually good and actually scary, definitely needs meter. Needs meter for mix-ups, needs meter for defense, meter for reversals and stuff like that. So to be put in negative this early into the round is not good, especially since the Anji's coming in. Okay, they're coming in hot. You ain't got that much meter. You might get meter in the next combo or two that's being done for you, but this is just not a good idea. Okay, they burst. All right, you immediately wake up into the up one, which is insane because at this range, like, it's just very scary. You jump out, you get close slashed. Okay, you get caught either jumping, mashing, or whatever, a failed backdash potentially, right? Gets comboed. All right, you get caught low. Now here's the thing about Anji, right? Against Anji, need to block low, react high. Now it's not an easy reaction. I think it's close to like 18, 19, 20 frames or something like that, but you need to do it, okay? You can't react to the low. The low is completely unreactable. The high is reactable, okay? And if you get caught low, they get a full combo, right? They didn't even have to RC here. They're going to get a full combo. Now, I believe the Anji was more optimal. They could have gotten more meter. It doesn't really matter, right? Especially with the damage that they're getting. Okay, spin round start, but you do jump S, which admittedly is different. For sure, is different. Gets a knockdown. Okay, don't know about the use of this meter. This use of meter is like just not that good, right? You're not going to get a combo from it because it's already heavily scaled. So this use of meter is already not good because you could have used it for mix, right? And now you're in meter penalty, so you're not even going to build that much meter for the rest of the round, right? And you get caught, you burst, you autopilot the burst. This is why it's important to not burst so quickly, right? This is why it's important to not burst so quickly, although you were already put in sort of a checkmate situation, because if the Anji player chose to do RC into super, you would have died, right? If they did RC and like baited the bait of your burst, you would have died, right? But you have to kind of like try to play around the fact that they've got meter, right? And try to kind of play that mind game. If you just burst right away, then you have situations like this where they burst and you die. So biggest takeaways here is for sure, like, do not autopilot your stuff, right? I'm seeing you autopilot a lot of neutral options, like just doing backdash into fireball, into up fireball, and they all seem to be in a certain rhythm, okay? And also visually confirm things, okay? Try to confirm things. You're doing like 5K into 6H, but if the 5K whiffs, you're still getting out the 6H. If the 2K whiffs, you're still getting out the 2D, right? You don't want to autopilot your combos or autopilot your confirms unless they actually hit, right? You should be more like buffering a bit more, which is like to say to press the buttons just a little faster. So that way, if the 5K does not connect, the 6H does not come out, which does not put you in very weird situations, especially as a character like Anji, whose entire thing is to parry like overcommittal buttons, right? And you don't want to be throwing out overcommittal buttons, and sweep is just never a good idea to throw out as Testament, right? Just in general, okay? I've never seen an air fireball once. I think I saw it literally once. Testament's air fireball is fantastic at being able to get something on the screen in a very non-committal way, because Testament covers a lot of space with the fireball and then lands, therefore canceling out their recovery by at least by a little bit, right? So these certain things that you can implement, specifically context. Context is very important when you're fighting your opponent and you're not paying attention to the context. You need to pay attention to the context of the match, react accordingly, not just autopilot what you already had in a predetermined script. Anyways, not gonna hammer the home too hard. I hope you guys learned something. I know I sure have. If you're interested in coaching, please check out the video in the description down below. Always, I'll catch you guys the next one. Peace.